Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I want to teach you about a very useful AWS security tool called IAM Access Analyzer. Do not worry if this is a new topic for you. I will explain everything in a very simple English. By the end of this video, you will understand what IAM Access Analyzer is, why you need it, and how it helps keep your AWS resources safe. So let us start. In this video, we are going to learn about IAM Access Analyzer. This is a security tool in AWS. Think of it like a security inspector. A security inspector checks your office to see if anyone has access to things they should not have access to. IAM Access Analyzer does the same thing for your AWS account. It checks who can access your resources and tells you if something is wrong. So let me explain what IAM Access Analyzer does. IAM Access Analyzer is a service that helps you find something very important. It finds resources that are shared with people outside your AWS account. What does outside your AWS account mean? It means other AWS accounts, public access, that means anyone on the internet can access it. External organizations means people outside your company. For example, imagine you have a file storage called S3 bucket. You put some private documents there, but accidentally you make it public. Now, anyone on the internet can download your documents. So this is very bad. IAM Access Analyzer will catch this mistake and tell you your S3 bucket is public. This is dangerous. So, IAM Access Analyzer is like a security alarm. If something is exposed to people who should not see it, the alarm goes off and warns you. Now, you might ask, does it check all resources? The answer is no. It checks specific types of resources. Let me tell you which ones. IAM Access Analyzer look at something called resource-based policies. So what are resource-based policies? They are permission rules attached to individual resources. The resources it checks are S3 buckets, where you are storing your files, IAM roles, so these are like job roles for AWS services, KMS keys, this protect secret data using encryption, Lambda function. These are small programs that runs in AWS queues. These are like message box that hold messages. All of these have permission policies. IAM Access Analyzer checks these policies and says who is allowed to access these resources. Are there people from outside who should not have access? So it is like a X-ray machine for resource policies. It sees through them and checks what is hidden inside. Let me explain how IAM Access Analyzer works. It is simple. There are three steps. In step 1, you create an analyzer. An analyzer is like hiring a security guard. You tell AWS, I want you to watch my AWS account and tell me if anything is wrong. In the step 2, the analyzer automatically scans all the policies in your account. It looks at S3 buckets, IAM roles, KMS keys, and all the resources we talked about before. It checks every single policy. In the step 3, the analyzer generates findings. Findings are like reports. If it finds something wrong, something that is exposed to external people, it creates a finding and tells you about it. So, you do not have to do anything manually. The analyzer works automatically. It is like having a security guard who works 24/7 and never sleeps. They are always watching and always checking. This is very helpful because you might forget to check your policies. The analyzer never forgets. Now, let us talk about findings. What is finding? A finding is when IAM Access Analyzer discovers that your resources can be accessed by someone from outside your account. There are two main types of external access. The first type is access from another AWS account. Imagine company A and company B both use AWS. Sometimes they need to share resources. For example, company A might say, I give permission to company B's account to access my S3 bucket. IAM Access Analyzer will detect this and create a finding. Your S3 bucket is accessible from another AWS account. There is a type 2, that is public access, access from the internet. This is more serious. Public access means anyone on the internet, anywhere in the world, can access your resource. If your S3 bucket has public read access, anyone can download your files. Let me give you a real life example. You create an S3 bucket policy like this. Allow everyone, written as asterisk. Principal everyone, written as asterisk. This means allow everyone to do anything. IAM Access Analyzer will immediately flag this and say, warning, this bucket is publicly accessible. This is very dangerous. So, findings help you see exactly what is exposed to whom. Now, here is something new. IAM Access Analyzer also checks for unused access. So, what does this mean? Imagine you give someone permission to use a resource. For example, you give John permission to read your S3 bucket, but John leaves the company. He does not work there anymore and he has never used this permission. He never accessed the S3 bucket. This permission is now unnecessary. This is called unused access. Why is this bad? Because of something called the least privilege principle. This is very important security rule. It says give people only the permission they need, nothing more. If you give people permission they do not use, you are breaking this principle. You are giving extra access that is not needed. IAM Access Analyzer can find these unused permissions. It tracks which permissions are actually used and which are just sitting there unused. Then it tells you this permission is not used, you can remove it. This helps you clean up your AWS account and make it more secure. Less permission is equal to less risk of problems. Let me tell you the three main features of IAM Access Analyzer. These are very important. Feature 1, that is continuous monitoring. This means it keeps checking automatically all the time. You do not have to run it manually. Once you create an analyzer, it is always working. Even if you sleep at night, it is still watching. If someone creates a new policy that is dangerous, the analyzer will immediately catch it. In feature 2, that is about policy validation. Policy validation means the analyzer checks if your policies are correct. It looks for two things. First, overly permissive policies, policies that give too much access. And second, misconfigurations, means the policies that are set up wrong by mistake. For example, if you accidentally put a wrong IP address in a policy, or if you accidentally allow public access, the analyzer catches it. The feature 3 is about actionable recommendation. When the analyzer finds a problem, it does not just say problem found. It also suggests a fix. It tells you here is the problem and here is how to fix it. This is very helpful because you do not have to figure out the solution yourself. So there are two types of analyzers you can create. Let me explain both. So the first is account analyzer. An account analyzer checks within your AWS account only. It scans your single account and finds any external access issues within that account. If you are a beginner, you will probably use account analyzer. Second type is organization analyzer. An organization analyzer is more powerful. It works across multiple AWS accounts if you use AWS organization. What is AWS organization? It is a service that lets you manage multiple AWS accounts from one place. If your company has 10 AWS accounts, so instead of creating 10 separate analyzers, you can create one organization analyzer. It will check all 10 accounts at the same time. So account analyzer is equal to checks one account. Organization analyzer is equal to checks many accounts together. For most people, account analyzer is enough. But if your company is big and uses many accounts, organization analyzer is very useful. You might be confused. Are there other security tools in AWS? Yes, there are. Let me compare IAM Access Analyzer with other services. So basically there are four services that people often confuse. Service 1 is IAM, that is Identity and Access Management. IAM manages who gets access to what. It creates user, roles and permission. It is about managing permissions. Service 2 is IAM Access Analyzer. Access Analyzer checks if your permissions are safe. It detects external access and unused permissions. It is about analyzing permissions. Service 3, AWS Config. AWS Config tracks resource changes. For example, if you change your S3 bucket policy, AWS Config records this change. It is about tracking changes. Service 4, CloudTrail. CloudTrail logs every action taken in your AWS account. It records who did what, when did they do it. It is about logging action. So remember this. IAM is equal to manage permission, access analyzer, analyze if permissions are safe, AWS config, track resource changes, CloudTrail, log all actions. A simple way to remember, access analyzer is like a security guard who answers the question, who can access my resources and are my permissions safe? This is the unique job of access analyzer. If you are preparing for an AWS exam, these three concepts are very important. So remember this. Concept 1, resource based policies. This is very important. IAM Access Analyzer works mainly on resource based policies. It checks policies on S3 bucket, KMS keys, Lambda function, SQS queues. It does not check identity based policies. So what are identity based policies? These are policies attached to IAM users or roles about what they can do. Access Analyzer does not analyze this. So, in the exam, if the question is, does Access Analyzer check user policies? The answer is no. It checks resource based policies. The next concept is external access detection. Access Analyzer is specially designed to detect unintended sharing. The most important thing it detects is public exposure. If your resource is public, Access Analyzer will definitely catch it. And the last concept is least privilege optimization. Access Analyzer helps you follow the least privilege principle. It finds unused permission and helps you remove them. This makes your AWS account more secure because you reduce the amount of permission floating around. Let me remind you of all the important points we learned today. Point 1, IAM Access Analyzer is equal to Security Visibility Tool. It helps you see who can access your resource and if anything is dangerous. Point 2, find these things. So there are two things. First is public access. That means resources anyone can access. And the second one is cross account access. That means resources another AWS account can access. Point 3 is works on resource based policies. It checks S3, KMS, Lambda, SQS. It checks what can access each resource. Point 4, it supports least privilege analysis. It identifies unused permission so you can remove them. Point 5 is generate findings and recommendation. When it finds a problem, it tells you exactly what is wrong and how to fix it. These 5 points are most important. If you remember this, you will understand IAM Access Analyzer. And remember, Access Analyzer is like a 24/7 security guard who watches your AWS account and tells you if anything looks dangerous. So I know this topic has many new words like resource based policies, list privilege and findings, but do not worry. If you watch this video again, it will make more sense each time. If you have any questions about IAM Access Analyzer, please write in the comments below. I will answer all your questions. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to this channel. I am making more AWS security videos coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.